Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell here in the Weather First Weather Center, and we're keeping you updated on our developing winter scenario here that is playing out through the overnight hours. The good news is that because it's been so warm recently, it's not like a snowstorm that's going to roll in here and we're going to be dealing with snow for days on end and iced up roads and can't get anywhere. This is going to create slushy, poor travel conditions while it's snowing heavily overnight. And then things are going to change as we get into tomorrow, midday. The snow lets up and the road crews will be able to do their thing. And we think we'll make pretty good progress on the roads later tomorrow. So here's our scenario playing out right now. Heavy snow is in the forecast for overnight. We do have the rain that's spreading in now from the south and from the southwest. Rolla has a little bit of rain. Cuba has some rain. Just started raining a few minutes ago at the Farmington Airport. It'll take about 2 or 3 hours, and we'll change that over to some snow. And then the heavy wet snow will happen overnight in waves. One wave coming through, it looks like right around midnight or a little after. And then another one right as we head towards the rush hour tomorrow morning. The heaviest snow is still expected to go south of I-44. So let's get you caught up on what these warnings and snowfall totals are looking like. And by the way, if you're joining us on Facebook this evening, I know we're up 5+. We're on Facebook, YouTube. On Facebook, we're going to monitor some of those comments. If you have some questions, you need some specific information, we'll try to do our best. But I think we're going to cover most of it here as we're chatting about snow totals a couple of times here in the next few minutes. So winter storm warning, that's in effect pretty much for all of our area, with the exception of the Troy area heading up towards Hardin, up towards Carrollton, and up towards Bowling Green. So Greene County, Illinois, Calhoun County in Illinois, Pike and Lincoln counties in Missouri, you have the winter weather advisory. You're probably only looking at a couple of inches of snow there, maybe 1 to 3 as you go farther north and west. But we still anticipate that heavier snow band generally along and south of I-44 in Missouri, and then kind of along and east of Interstate 70 here going through Illinois. That means Vandalia, you may end up with 5 or 6 inches of snow. And if we get some bands here, and we're pretty confident we will down here in the Ozarks. The question is as this shifts east, the snowfall, the heavier snowfall tomorrow will be happening during the daytime. And there is a difference in how much snow can accumulate in this kind of scenario because temperatures are just going to be around freezing versus, having everybody already in the 20s and being very cold. This isn't that type of snow. So heavy, wet snow, because the heaviest is falling while it's dark over the Ozarks and the added bonus of a little extra elevation here, we expect to see some amounts in excess of 8 inches. Maybe Potosi, Farmington, Steelville, Viburnum, over towards Ironton, Pilot Knob. We might see some 9-10 inch reports down here. It's going to be a very heavy wet snow too. But as you get back into the metro area, most of us are going to get 3 to 5 inches. We're thinking there might be some spots here as you go around 255 on the Illinois side, especially as you get down towards Our Lady of Snows and heading down towards Columbia, Illinois, where you might be closer to 6 inches. That would hold true Oakville, back towards Arnold as well. But again, going north and west, it's going to taper off pretty quickly. So one of the factors that we're looking at tonight, the temperatures. We've been in the mid-40s for highs today in St. Louis. Now, we're still at 42. Radar shows rain overhead. That's at the mid-level. So the radar beam is finding the raindrops up there at cloud level, but the clouds still have to lower a little more. Probably about another 1,000 feet in St. Louis to 2,000 feet, and then those raindrops will start reaching the ground. See what the temperature did down here in Springfield. It dropped through the 30s, and now it's 33 degrees, and that's what we expect to see most of our area doing here through the evening and towards midnight. As all this moisture moves in from the south and it starts raining, we will start to cool down from the top down, and we'll get temperatures to drop right around 32, 33 degrees. Ground temperatures and road temperatures, because we've been warm the last few days, they're running above 40 degrees. So, we're going to suck a lot of that heat out as we try to melt some of the snow later tonight. First, we'll start with the rain pushing in between 7 and 9 in St. Louis, and then we'll start to see that change over to snow as we head towards 11 o'clock, midnight. And you're going to get into some of that heavier snow here after midnight, at least the first band of it. So let's kind of do the exploring here of what's going on with the radar pictures. And we've got it kind of honed in here into St. Louis. The live sweep, or the nearly live sweep, showing an area that's a little more enhanced out here. So we wouldn't be surprised if you're already starting to see something reaching the ground out towards Washington and down towards Union. We definitely know we've seen it down to Cuba. But overall around the metro area, the air is still quite dry. So we're still in that process of moistening the atmosphere to get this to reach the ground. We noticed on the cameras from the Cuba airport that we are looking at some rain there and everything looks wet. It didn't look like it had changed over to snow just yet. And so far down in Rolla and down towards Farmington, showing up as rain at this point. But once we get those temperatures down to about 32, 33 degrees, 34 degrees, southern portions of Missouri down into Arkansas, that's where we're seeing more of this snow. So it's a very dynamic storm system. Early today, these thunderstorms, which are now racing into western portions of Mississippi and across eastern Louisiana, raced through the Houston area and did quite a bit of damage with some tornadoes. It's a very active storm system dragging all this moisture up to the north, and there's a lot of energy with it. Wouldn't be surprised for some of us, especially south and southeast of St. Louis, late tonight, early tomorrow morning, as this energy, which is kind of where the spin in the atmosphere is back here, as that moves overhead, wouldn't be surprised if we hear a crack of thunder with some of this. And you know, when you get thunder snow, you know it's snowing at the rate of 1 to 2 inches an hour, which is why we have our concerns for travel here during the overnight hours into very early tomorrow morning. In particular, the areas down southwest of St. Louis, where not only the heaviest snow will fall, but also you have a lot of rural roads, and there are 2 lanes, lots of hills, and potentially big travel troubles there. So here's how things are evolving this evening. The rain's going to spread in. The snow comes behind it after we get cooled off enough. We're going to hug 32, 33 degrees overnight. The darker blues east and southeast of St. Louis, that's where the heaviest snow is going to be. As you bump into the area right where it goes from rain to snow, that's where you're talking about the heaviest snow band. And we think that's going to be well southeast of St. Louis. So here we are. This was at 6 o'clock, kind of what we were seeing. Radar showing this. This is a computer model. It's the high resolution. It shows that we're going to bring the rain into St. Louis. Watch those temperatures hour by hour. They're back into the 30s here. So we drop from the 40s back into the upper 30s in St. Louis by 9 o'clock. At that point, it's been raining a while here farther to the south. Plus, you have some higher elevations here, Washington, Crawford County. We're going to be talking about a switch over as you head farther south and southwest of St. Louis to snow sooner. And that means Centerville, Lesterville, Viburnum, Annapolis, Fredericktown, Farmington. You're probably going to be sitting by 9, 10 o'clock at 33 degrees, and you'll be seeing, that's darker blue there, that's going to be some heavier snow that will be falling. And you see the shading here where the darker blues are showing up. Even into southern portions of Illinois, that's going to be a pretty good burst of heavier snow. Now, some of that moderate to at times heavy snow tries to back into St. Louis as we head towards 3 o'clock in the morning. If you're trying to travel overnight tonight, even on the interstates, it's hard when we're snowing, seeing these snowfall rates, and you see some of that deeper blue down to the south and east of St. Louis, from Nashville, Illinois, back towards St. Genevieve to Farmington. You're talking an inch or more an hour of snow. And it's a very heavy, wet snow. So you can't melt it that fast. It's falling so fast. Temperatures, again, very close to freezing or just above as we head towards 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Notice by that time, the heaviest snow is starting to slide over towards the Wabash River in eastern portions of Illinois, while we're still looking at bands of lighter snow around St. Louis, and temperatures, they're still above freezing here. By 9 o'clock, we're thinking 34, 35 degrees. We're pushing the accumulating snow away from St. Louis at this point. So by the end of what would traditionally be our morning rush hour in St. Louis, we're going to see the heavy, widespread snow moving out, and that should allow the road crews, along with these temperatures above freezing, to get a pretty good handle on the roads around the metro area. Now, we'll still have some snow showers into the afternoon hours. We don't anticipate it being a big problem beyond that. I mean, when it's coming down overnight tonight and through the rush hour tomorrow morning, it's a problem, right? But then after it lets up, road conditions should improve. Now, the one thing we will say is areas down to the south here through the Ozarks, again, with the hilly terrain, the rural roads, you know, if you do end up with some pockets of 8 to 10 inch snowfall, then it's going to be a little bit longer before those areas can get the roads improved. But we really think we're going to make good improvement here during the afternoon hours around St. Louis on the roads. Plus, this being a heavy, wet snow, it will compact well. It'll be great for the kids to be out, snowballs, snowmen, and doing some fun stuff out, and they won't be frozen the entire afternoon because temperatures are above freezing. It's not like before Christmas when we had the really Arctic air. By the way, we do have some more of that coming later next week. As we head into Thursday, most of the day we're kind of stuck with the clouds. There might be a couple of flurries. There's a pretty good breeze, and it's going to stay chilly on Thursday for sure. So we're not anticipating this being an active weather day, but it's kind of gray, kind of chilly as we go through Thursday. So tonight's forecast, we're talking temperatures going back down to around freezing or so. Rain develops, then changes over to snow. And we're going to see that snow coming down heavy at times as we push into tomorrow morning's rush hour. Now, by 10 o'clock and through the afternoon, the chances go down. Your temperatures plateau into the mid-30s, so we should be able to make progress with that. So here's kind of the summary of what we're looking for. With this storm alert for tonight into tomorrow, rain will quickly change to wet snow, and then we're going to have that snow heavy at times into the morning rush hour. And this is especially true along and south of Interstate 44 in Missouri, and along and south of 70, kind of in Illinois, maybe even along and just to the north of 70 as you get over towards Effingham by tomorrow morning. So, you know, this is what we're going to be dealing with here as we head through tonight and into tomorrow. A lot of snow. All right, let's check on some cameras here. I'm going to pull up a few cameras for you, and then we'll get some comments. And Jacob, you're going to help me with this tonight? Yeah? Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. It's all good. So I want to show you, that's Arnold right now. I've got the cameras where we can pop some different ones on. Let's see. Let me take you down to, let's see, take that there and see if that'll take it. We can't get ourselves down to Branson. Okay, so there's Branson. There's a live look at what's going on in Branson right now. Snowing pretty heavily in Branson. Temperatures right around 33 degrees. You can see the road has a little bit of slush on it. The parking lot there at the, looks like a restaurant or whatever that is. Cars are starting to get covered. The grassy areas are covered. Anything that's been treated, though, still looks like it might be just a little on the wet side. Let's see if we can't get down to Harrison, Arkansas, and see what it looks like down there. See if that's going to play out for us. Oh, yeah. So here's Harrison, Arkansas. Now, that's about maybe an hour south of Branson. And you can see there, of course, Arkansas doesn't have the snow removal that, you know, the rest of us do. But you can see that the roads there in Harrison, Arkansas, actually covered. Let's play this one out. We'll take you down. Where are we going? Looks like we're going to go down now to Springfield. So this is down at Sunshine Street. And yeah, it's really coming down in Springfield. Now the roads are just wet, and I think this is the case you're going to find along 44 for the next 2 hours or so. You know, it's got another couple of hours before the snow rates pick up to the point at which it'll overtake it. But that's what it looks like down in Springfield right now. Don't know if I'm going to be able to find anybody else that has anything going on. Oh, let's see. No, not much. I don't see any other cameras that are going to give me much. Is that one? I don't know if this one in Arkansas, Lowell, Arkansas. This is Highway 49, Interstate 49 there. So let's see what that looks like, if we could make out anything when we call that one up. You know, that's looking at Interstate 49 and not showing us much there. By the way, we're still 42 degrees in St. Louis. That's not the current air temperature down that way. So we come back home. You can look out at Lambert right now, and you can kind of sense that we're starting to see those clouds lower and things are kind of thickening up just a little bit around the St. Louis area as far as the clouds rolling in and you know, what we're going to expect here. We're down to about 6,000 feet for the base of the clouds. So we need to get them down just a little bit lower before we can start getting that to reach the ground. I want to check on Springfield. Or sorry, Chesterfield. They do have some light rain now reported at Spirit of St. Louis Airport as of the top of this hour. It hasn't been measurable, but the ceiling cloud base has come down to about 3,000 feet. So it does make a difference. I do want to check on the Vichy-Rala Airport too while I'm sitting over here at the computer. They've gone over to snow. So as you head down towards Rala, as expected, it's gone over to that snow at this point. And that's kind of what we were anticipating here as we've been going through the evening hours. So again, I think flights tomorrow morning out of Lambert, they're going to be slow and sluggish getting out of the airport tomorrow, because while it's coming down late tonight and through tomorrow morning, it does create some pretty good intensity of snowfall and just causes some problems. And tomorrow is our storm alert day. It's really, actually, this is the wrong forecast. This is the one that's for Anthony for tomorrow morning. So let me scoot it back one. It just clicked the wrong one, didn't I? Well, we can fix that very quickly. The numbers are all right. We just slide them over a day. But yeah, so tomorrow is our storm alert day. And then we're going to move forward into a colder pattern towards the end of next week. So next week, it looks like highs. You know, if the air that's coming our way next week were here now, then this storm would be a whole different ballgame, because temperatures below freezing, lows in the teens at night, you know, that would set us up for having slippery roads for a few days. As it is, we've got the slick and slushy roads going on while it's actually snowing across the St. Louis area. So while it's snowing and coming down hard, you're going to have problems traveling. So this is mainly after midnight, leading up to tomorrow morning's rush hour, probably through the rush hour, especially from St. Louis east. And then tomorrow afternoon, as the intensity of any precip lets up, we're in pretty good shape, we think, as we head into tomorrow afternoon. So, you know, really the impacts of what we're looking at right now, basically happening around St. Louis in the next 12 to 18 hours. And then once we get past lunchtime tomorrow, you should see road conditions dramatically improve. But while it's snowing during the overnight hours, it is going to be a problem for us. And again, we're starting to see things kind of, you could tell the cloud bases are lowering and the air is moistening a bit. So once we cool it down, again, an hour or two of rain, and then we swing over to that heavy, wet snow. So that's why the winter storm warnings are in effect, especially because it impacts tomorrow morning's rush hour. And again, along and south of 44 in Missouri through the Ozarks, you've got the added bonus here of higher terrain. So because you're up higher, you're closer to that colder air being dragged down dynamically with the cooling. And also, you know, this is the area to the southeast of St. Louis where the energy is going to be greatest and where there's greater banding of snow and the potential that we might even hear thunder down this way. So I don't think that's going to be widespread, probably not in St. Louis. But again, there'll be some spots that get more than 8 inches of snow, especially over the eastern Ozarks. You know, as you get down towards Deloge, Potosi, Farmington, you know, the whole lead belt down here. The mineral area, if you will, that area is most likely to see. And really, if you normally commute out of Jefferson County or out of Monroe County or St. Clair County tomorrow morning, this is the area that most likely on the east and south side of the metro will have the biggest problems getting around early tomorrow morning. So the winter storm warning's in effect. Again, you know, our bottom line here for this is we're going to have to deal with it through the overnight hours early tomorrow morning. And we're really anticipating, you know, the impacts to be limited to that time where the snow is coming down the hardest. And while it's falling at that greater intensity, because road crews just can't keep up with it and it can't melt fast enough, even though temperatures may actually be a little bit above freezing. So it won't be the biggest snow we've ever had. It'll be one for the kids to get out. You know, it won't be so cold tomorrow afternoon. And as you know, there's a lot of places that have snow days. So tomorrow, you know, enjoy it if you can. And if you have to be out, just know late tonight, early tomorrow, you're going to need a lot of extra time getting around because roads are going to be slushy and sloppy and slick, despite the best efforts of our road crews. All right, we'll leave it there for now tonight. I'm glad you all popped in, joined us on YouTube and 5+, and we'll keep you updated. We'll have another update probably about 9:45 tonight on 5+. And of course, we have team coverage tonight at 10 on News Channel 5 at 10, 5 on your side at 10, and then tomorrow morning for Today in St. Louis, team coverage as well. So 5 on your sides, ready to go with this.